I have some words, okay? I have a lot of words to say about why I think Lev and Maddie is a bad show. This literally might be one of the worst shows I've ever watched, okay? Don't try to come at me with that whole entire thing talking about, but Liv and Maddie won an award, so it had to be good. Bad stuff win awards all the time. It's called bribing. Learn how the industry works, okay? And I'm sorry, Liv and Maddie, but you will never be that 70s show. You will never be that 70s show. We only have one iconic Wisconsin show, and it's that 70s show. You tried to live up to that expectation. You did not. You failed, okay? You failed.
Here's the deal. The answer is yes, but the answer is no, not in that way. But the answer is yes. So ask me about... So the answer is yes, but the answer is also no. So the answer you're looking for is yes, but also no.
Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and welcome back to the pirate ship, Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain, you are not my first mate. If this is your first time on this ship, hello. My name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based on nostalgia, family and children's entertainment, and all the issues that I find within that. So yeah, I don't know what you in for, but you in for something. Today I am here to talk to you guys about a show that I despise the most, okay? This video has been so long awaited. I literally tortured myself to make this video for you guys. The things that I do for you. It literally took everything out of me to rewatch this show. All the willpower that I had in the month of November went into this show and I was losing it. But before we begin, y'all know we gotta do the commercials, okay? Y'all know what we do over here on the pirate ship. Like, we don't work for free over here on the pirate ship. We gotta do the commercials, y'all. So
commercial break.
yeah, as you guys know, as always, today's video is sponsored by The Coldest Water. The Coldest Water is a brand that sells insulated water bottles. Whether you want your drink to be hot, your drink to be cold, The Coldest Water got you. You just put your drink in here to whatever temperature it is and it stays like that for up to 36 hours, okay? Like I'm telling y'all, I be having stuff sitting in this cup all day. Like, I shouldn't though, because I try to make sure I drink a lot of water throughout the day, but there are some days where I'm just not drinking water like I should, and I come back to it at night and my water is still freezing cold. So that is one thing I truly do appreciate this. Y'all, please don't wash it in the dishwasher, okay? You need to make sure that you wash this bottle by hand, okay? Like, I used to be real lazy with all my old insulated water bottles in the past where I didn't feel like hand washing it myself, and I just put it in the dishwasher and it broke and no longer kept my drinks hot or cold no matter how I wanted them. With The Coldest Water, I literally am hand washing this. I am taking such good care of this and it is really holding up. Like, literally just takes 5 minutes out of your day. It saves electricity, it saves water, you just hand wash it, okay? So if you guys are interested in The Coldest Water, I will have my link down below, HH, and you will get some money taken off of your order, okay? But yeah, please use my link down below for The Coldest Water if you are interested in this product. So yeah, next commercial that we're getting into. My birthday's coming up. As you guys know, my birthday giveaway is coming up. My birthday is on November 27th. I don't know why the internet is trying to say I am in my 30s and I was born in July. That is completely false. But I want to show you guys just a bit of what is gonna go into the giveaway. So I always talk about the first Descendants book is like the best Descendants thing, period. So I will be giving away three of each, okay? I'm giving away 3 birthday gifts, okay? So you guys have 3 chances to win, okay? One, I will be giving away The Isle of the Lost book, okay? The Isle of the Lost book by Melissa De La Cruz. It is the first book in the Descendants book series. It takes place before the first Descendants movie. I always talk about this book, how even though it's the best Descendants thing, it's actually just a really good book in general. You get to see how ugly the Isle of the Lost really is, okay? Also, you have some pictures in here from the trash movie that was Descendants 2 if you're into things like that. But yes, this is like the biggest thing. I'm a reader. I love to read books. I need to get back into reading more books, as I did pick up some other books from the store as I bought this. So yeah, that is the first thing that will be going in here. A lot of you guys do like to compliment me on my lip gloss that I choose to wear often in my videos. So I will be giving away, not this one though, you guys aren't getting the one I use. I literally repurchased 3 of these to give away. I will be giving away my favorite lip gloss made by Harri. Highly recommended. It's such an amazing lip gloss. As you guys can see, I'm wearing it right now. Okay, but yeah, I will be giving away one of these along with the book. And the other thing that I do not have a picture of right now, right in front of me, is I will be giving away a Powerpuff Girls face mask. Okay, as you guys know, I am Powerpuff Girls trash. Like, literally, that is Dynamo from the Powerpuff Girls dancing in my intro. Everybody keeps asking me where that girl came from. Y'all, that's Dynamo. Like, what? Are y'all not nerds? Like, that's Dynamo. But yes, I will be giving away a Powerpuff Girls face mask. And if you guys are interested in this giveaway, here are the rules. 1, you need to be subscribed to my YouTube channel. I'm really trying to hit 50K because I have a big surprise for y'all at 50K. So please, yeah, get me to 50K, please. 2, you need to be following me on my personal Instagram, okay? 3, you need to be following the Progenies on Instagram. All of this stuff is linked down below, both of my Instagram pages. Next, you need to post something. Like, if you're watching my videos or whatnot, you need to post to your story with the word Harry, like my nickname Harry, not Harry Hook, Harriyannahook, meaning Harri. Not Harry. You do Harry, you're not gonna get it entered. So yeah, you need to tag me on your story with that word Harri. I will see it, and then you will be entered in your contest. Okay, you will be entered in the contest. And I know that may be a little confusing, but if you guys followed all those steps, that's how I know you really rest with me, and I see you really down for me, and you're not just doing this because you just want a prize. So I will be posting this on my community, like with more details, because I know it can be a little bit confusing and whatnot, but I will be posting this on my community tab for you guys to go back and reference to. Now, you know, the next commercial we have to go in is through the Progenies. I'm not going to stay too long on this one because this Living Maddie video is about to be very, very long, okay? Like I said, y'all are getting a movie. Y'all are getting a freaking movie. I'm not lying. Y'all are getting a movie. Because it's that bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But yes, please support the Progenies. The Progenies is the web series based on Descendants, okay? It is based on shows like 101, Blood and Water, and Gossip Girl, okay? And Bratz too. Bratz too. We really, really do need the funding. Yeah, please, even if you can't donate, just please share our link and whatnot. And yeah, that's just pretty much it for the Progenies. The last commercial that we have is support me on Patreon. Yes, I am offering exclusive behind the scenes content over there on Patreon. Like, y'all, I am working extremely hard to make sure the Progenies is successful. Okay, that's part of the reason why I started Patreon and whatnot, because I want to make sure I get the funding for that show. But yes, I'm offering exclusive service over there where I offer like behind the scenes footage and scripts and things like that for the Progenies. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I do post behind the scenes videos, and I post exclusive videos over there too. Also, you get exclusive access to my videos. You get early access to all my videos over there. So yeah, and you get access to my Discord, so you get to talk to moi. Okay, I ain't nobody special, by the way. I'm not. But, like, the Discord's fun. It's a really nice safe space. Uma's Pirate Ship is a safe space, okay? Okay. Commercial break done.
Commercial break.
Before we begin, we are going to be talking about a few sensitive topics here. We will be talking about the subject of racism, sexual harassment, and toxic relationships. So you guys have been warned. Hey y'all, so I'm currently in the middle of editing this video, and I just kind of want to put a little disclaimer in here because I notice I can come across as like very, very mean. If you like this show, it is okay. It is completely okay. This is just my opinions. All my opinions. If you want to like Living Maddie, you still want to go and watch it after watching this video, feel free to do so. This is just for me, and I am only speaking for myself and why I think it's a garbage show. So if Living Maddie has did something great for you in the future, not the future, the past, if this show has done something great for you, that's great. Because we all have things that help us through whatever. Like, people can argue with me and say the Descendants is terrible and I shouldn't like it and whatnot. I am completely not saying that at all. If you want to like Living Maddie, you can do so. So Now, my personal connection with Liv and Maddie is how I knew this trash was trash from the beginning, okay? As you guys know, I am a huge stan of Shake It Up. I personally know that Shake It Up is not one of Disney Channel's best shows, but I am aware it's not the best, but it's my favorite, okay? I can't help what I like. Shake It Up is my favorite Disney Channel show, okay? Okay. It was like a hardcore stan of Shake It Up, okay? I was too poor to afford merch, so I did it the poor kid way, where we went online and read fan fiction and watched cast interviews and things like that and tried to learn the dances and whatnot. Like, Shake It Up was my life. That and Jessie literally got me through middle school, okay? And only one of those shows aged good, in my opinion, because Jessie has issues. Anyway, we spoke about that before. So when Shake It Up was about to end, this is when Liv and Maddie started its run. And me being the stupid kid that I am and not knowing how television works and whatnot, I thought Shake It Up got canceled to make room for Liv and Maddie, okay? When really it was just time for Shake It Up to end. That was just the case. But yes, I really believe Shake It Up got canceled for Liv and Maddie, and I was just salty. I wasn't having it. Like, 14-year-old Harriyanna was not having it. I couldn't stand it, okay? So I just made like a strike to never watch Liv and Maddie, okay? I never wanted to watch this show because I was just hurt that Shake It Up wasn't coming back. Because of that reason, I did not watch the show, nor did I really give it a chance in the beginning run. Didn't really catch my attention in general. Neither did the premise. Was very interesting to me. Like, later on, like, how I actually did end up start watching the show was when Girl Meets World started airing. And you know, I was Girl Meets World trash. I am aware that show is trash, okay? It did not age well, okay? But it used to come on like before or after Girl Meets World, and this is before like I was too excited to watch Girl Meets World, so I went ahead and went to Disney Channel, or I was too lazy to get up and change the channel on my own. So I just sit there and watch what was on, and I hated it. I hated, or I would just put my headphones into my computer as Liv and Maddie just ran its background noise. I didn't enjoy the show. Like, it was something about the show that I didn't like that I really couldn't put my finger on it. Until I rewatched it recently. Y'all, I know that's not Laura. Y'all, look at Laura. Laura, no. No, Laura. Y'all, look, no. Sis. What's Austin and Ally Chestnut doing it? I was literally suffering this entire month of November to give y'all this video, okay? Me recently rewatching this show, I was finally able to figure out why I don't like it. I have some words, okay? I have a lot of words to say about why I think Liv and Maddie is a bad show. This literally might be one of the worst shows I've ever watched, okay? And that's saying something. Like I said, if I genuinely think a kid's show is bad, it's bad because I like to judge kids shows for what they are. I genuinely think this is bad because when I was younger, I didn't like this show. Now I'm older, I dislike it even more. So I'm not a Dove Cameron fan either, so I'm truly judging this show for what it is. Like, a lot of her stans are so convinced that the show is good. It's really not, y'all. Like, don't lie to yourself. It's okay. It is okay. Now, what is even Liv and Maddie? Liv and Maddie is an American sitcom that ran between 2013 and 2017 on the network Disney Channel. And we know how Disney Channel shows go. They're either hit or miss. Hit or miss. It's about two twin sisters named Liv and Maddie. Liv is an actor, while Maddie is a basketball player. Have nothing in common, like literally nothing in common whatsoever, okay? And the problem with it is that, you know how Disney Channel shows often have like ensemble casts where certain episodes focus on like different people and whatnot? No, with this show, literally everything revolved around these two. And it was really, really frustrating because these two were actually the most unlikable characters in this show whatsoever, okay? They were just really, really annoying. They were interesting, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta give them their props. But they were just not good people, and they were just really, really frustrating characters, and I couldn't stand them. Like, literally almost every single last thing that happened in this show had to do with the twins. So I'm just like, I understand the show's called Liv and Maddie and it revolves around them and whatnot, but like, Disney, come on, like, Like I said, what makes it worse about how the show always revolved around these two is that they were not likable whatsoever. They were extremely dislikable. I could not stand Liv and Maddie. I wanted to slap both of them in the face multiple times while watching this series. I know we always like to keep character talk for last when I make these videos where I talk about TV shows and movies and whatnot. So we're just gonna leave that at that right now, and we're just gonna move on to something else. It's a lot to get into, okay? It's a lot to get into. And now, before we get into anything else, we just gotta hit on this because I thought it was a little funny. This show is created by John D. Beck and Ron Hart. Now, these two men claim to both have credits on both Shake It Up and Hey Arnold. Now, y'all can debate whether or not y'all can go ahead and fight. I think Shake It Up's a good show. I think some people think Shake It Up's a bad show, so I can understand. I'll give y'all that one. If you think Shake It Up's a bad show with bad writing, go ahead. I'll fight with you with that one. I'm kind of mad that these two people touched my favorite show. Favorite Disney Channel show, Strictly. It's not one of my favorite shows ever. It kind of is one of my favorite shows ever, but you know. And Hey Arnold. So I was just like, no, there's no way that y'all touched Hey Arnold, okay? So my friends, I told my friends about this because I was just kind of like mind blown. It turns out that they only had one writing credit for Hey Arnold. It was only for one episode. So you know what they did? They just saw that like, hey, I worked on Hey Arnold. They tell people they worked on Hey Arnold and it gives them the clout. Okay, they wanted to keep up a Hey Arnold clout too, and I would too. Like, hey, if I worked on something that was real iconic because of how great it was, and I only had a small piece of it, I'm gonna run with that, okay? So I understand why they did that. I understand why they did that. Now, how I came to like actually trying to give Liv and Maddie a chance when I was younger was that I was at the beginning of my Descendants phase. I was going through my Descendants phase, and I still am. I've literally been in the Descendants phase for like 5 years, okay? It's sad. It's very, very sad. I know. Go ahead and drag me. You know how it is when you become obsessed with something, like obsessed with a TV show or a movie franchise and things like that. You start to go back and watch all of like the cast members' other projects and whatnot, because I remember I actually did watch Wayward Pines simply because Sarah Jeffrey was in it, because I watched Wayward Pines before Descendants came out, and then when I realized that Sarah Jeffrey was in it, I actually got more interested in the story. So yeah, I started watching Liv and Maddie because Mal, who I truly despise now that I'm older, was in it, and I regret it. I regret it. Also, a lot of people don't seem to get that, like, I don't watch Disney Channel as much as y'all think I do, okay? Like, I don't. Like, the show is just, like... Currently, the only thing I am watching at the moment on Disney Channel is Sydney to the Max. That's the only show I'm watching. When they play movies from time to time, I watch the movies, and when they have their animation block, okay? I am not over here sitting here watching Disney Channel all the freaking time. Like, even when I was back in high school, I did not sit and watch Disney Channel like I think I did. I watched The Girl Meets World. I kept the channel on for background noise and whatnot, but I did not actually sit and watch that show like everybody thinks I did. I really just stayed for one show, the movies, and then the animation block, okay? And then the animation block kind of ain't really anything for me because I have Disney XD and all they do is play the animated shows all day long. So yeah, Disney Channel really does nothing for me. I do have that Sydney to the Max video coming real soon, but you know, we have to get through this trash. We have to get through the trash to get to the bed stuff, okay? I tried to watch this show, but it was just too terrible back then for me. But I know I have to give y'all content. I have to give y'all good content. So I suffered. I suffered the entire month of November to give you guys this. Also, don't try to come at me with that whole entire thing talking about, but Liv and Maddie won an award, so it had to be good. Bad stuff win awards all the time. It's called bribing. Learn how the industry works, okay? I'm gonna need y'all to go watch Adam Ruins Everything in the episode called Adam Ruins Hollywood, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, so much trash has awards, okay? Like, literally, like, what even was this show? Like, this show was trying so hard to be the next iconic Wisconsin show, and I'm sorry, Liv and Maddie, but you will never be that 70s show. You will never be that 70s show. We only have one iconic Wisconsin show, and it's that 70s show. You tried to live up to that expectation. You did not. You failed, okay? You failed. It's okay. Part of the reason why I spent so much of my time this month rewatching this show is because I forgot what happened. This show is extremely forgettable because, like, when I was literally... I'm sorry, my sister just came home and they're talking. But, like, literally, I, like, had to take multiple notes while watching this show so I wouldn't forget a lot, because this show is just very, very forgettable, okay? I think because there was just nothing about it that kind of blew me away. The aesthetic wasn't cute. The plot wasn't interesting. I didn't like any of the characters, and it wasn't like the bad dislikable character. It's just like, no, it's a very forgettable show. I know I said that, pronounced that correctly, and you've been watching me for a while. You know I always say forgettable like forgettable, okay? It's just my thing. I'm sorry. I'm just really bad at pronouncing that word. Now, before we get into everything, we're gonna be talking about the bad. The bad of this show. There is way too much bad in this show. It outweighs literally everything. We're going to get into that. We are going to get into that. The diversity sucks. As y'all know what we do on this channel. We talk about diversity all the freaking time. The diversity of Liv and Maddie sucks. There barely was any, by the way. Like, really, really bad. Really, really bad. The show was low-key racist, okay? Because one, they barely had people of color on this show in general. And when they did, they were portrayed very questionably, okay? Yes, I am aware that Parker's actor is mixed, okay? But on this show, he is portrayed as a white boy. The Rooneys are a white family, okay? So don't try to come at me and say, but Parker's, I know he's not. I know the actor is not, but on this show, he is portrayed to be white. So don't come for me. I know my facts. Child is white, okay? On this show. Willow really, really freaking frustrates me so much. Jasmine Maria Garcia deserves so much better, and I am glad that she got so much better when she moved on to do other shows, like on my block, okay? Because Liv and Maddie did her no justice. Willow literally was the Marinette Dupont Chang of Liv and Maddie, okay? Whoo, like literally she was just there as like basically Joey's love interest, and I air quote love interest because it was just very one-sided. He didn't want her and she liked him. Hate how Willow was portrayed to be unattractive. Like, she was basically Maddie's Duff, okay? She was basically Maddie's Duff. She was just there to make Maddie look prettier and whatnot. But like, Willow wasn't even ugly. Jasmine Maria Garcia is beautiful. Like, there's nothing ugly about her. Like I said, they always try to, like, you know, Eurocentric beauty standards. They used her to be Maddie's Duff. But like I said, I went back to how she would just constantly be harassing Joey, touching him when it was like very unwanted, giving him real unwanted attention, saying really inappropriate things to him, basically like stalking him in some sorts, and like touching his personal items and things like that. I'm so tired of this. Like, I've mentioned this multiple times on my channel, why I am so tired of Nickelodeon and Disney Channel thinking that this behavior is cute. Like, thinking being extremely predatory over another human, thinking that that will get them to like you, or wearing them down to the point where they will feel bad for you and thinking that they will get them into dating you and whatnot. I'm just tired of Disney, like, with this entire narrative that this is okay and this is cute. This behavior is not okay whatsoever, and I'm gonna need y'all to stop. Like I said, children are very young and impressionable. They see this behavior, think it's okay, and will repeat that, okay? And I feel like Disney Channel needs to start taking more responsibility for that, okay? And also, like, speaking of diversity, Parker had a little token black friend that just kind of disappeared. I don't know what happened to that kid. There was nothing about him. You know, he said the funny one-liners. You know how token black characters go. I forgot about him. Until I recently watched the show, and I was like, oh, there was a black person in this show. Yeah, there were no black girls in this show. No black girls whatsoever. Like, if they made a cameo and that, I really forgot. I saw them in the background as extras and whatnot, but I really don't remember no black girl in the show. Holden was okay, played by Jordan Fisher. He was okay. He was dull, cute guy, made music. I don't really care. I did not care too much for his character. Like I said, he was just really, really dull. The diversity of Liv and Maddie sucks, in conclusion. Next, we gotta talk about Maddie and Diggy's relationship, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. This literally is one of the worst breakup scenes I have ever seen in television history. It's just that bad. Because not only was the writing bad, the acting made me want to throw myself out the window. Because I just could not. Whoever directed that scene, it was just bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I don't like to judge people on their crafts and whatnot. But that scene bothered me so much because it was that terrible. Like I say all the time, you can love somebody. You can have so much love for somebody and not be with them. Their relationship belonged in Toxicity City. Those two needed to stay far away from each other as much as possible because I was just like, the entire time I was just like, I can't do it. It started off cute in the beginning, but also it wasn't really cute because at the same time Maddie was just really selfish that entire relationship. Like, she literally always wanted Diggy to drop everything for her at all costs. And I'm just like, Maddie, the world does not revolve around you. And that is what led up to them breaking up, because she was just so selfish because he got a job opportunity to go somewhere else. But she was just like, I don't want you leaving me again. I'm like, girl, why are you making this about you? He literally has a chance to better himself at life and you want him to stay for a freaking relationship. Their breakup is literally one of the show's worst moments ever. And there are a lot of terrible moments in this show. But that breakup scene is like nails on a chalkboard bad. Like I said, I wanted to throw my body out the window. I couldn't do it. She was really upset with him for wanting to do better. Like that entire thing about when he had a job at the frozen yogurt shop, and she was just not happy about it whatsoever. She was like, you're not spending time with me anymore. I'm just like, Maddie, not everything is about you. Get over it. That scene just bothers me so much. I know I keep flipping back and forth to that scene. It was just acted so terribly. They just started screaming back and forth at each other, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I could feel like the secondhand embarrassment. That scene right there truly showed Maddie's colors, but we are getting a little bit too much into Maddie right now. We're gonna save like how I feel about Maddie at the end of the video. Yeah, it made me so mad because I thought they were just gonna be good and over for good, but then next thing you know, Diggy was trying to like get back with Maddie and all this, and I'm just like, no, let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up and die.
Let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up and come on, who's with me?
Speaking of that goes into my next point, is that this show has an issue when it comes to taking opportunities, okay? This has happened multiple times in the show where it happens within the family and it happens with their friends and whatnot, where something comes up where somebody has the opportunity to go do something that will better their life or better their career or just better them as a person. And it's always that one person that doesn't want them to go because they don't want them to leave them. No! I honestly don't care how many people I am leaving if something good comes up. Like, yes, I understand friends are important, family is important, but like, I have to think about my life and what's gonna help me. Like, yes, I love you, but like, friends and family don't pay the bills. Love don't pay the bills, okay? Love don't pay the bills. Love don't help my career, okay? It does not whatsoever. Like, it basically, that is what the premise of this show was, where Liv wanted to come back home because she missed her family. And yes, I understand that because she's a teenager, she's young and whatnot. But like, I don't understand why it would make more sense if like the family lived somewhere like Chicago, somewhere reasonable, like Atlanta, even San Diego, I'd say. Even in like the Bay Area, I even throw that in there. Even Atlanta. Places that actually have some type of entertainment industry in them. No, they lived in Wisconsin. That was not going to happen. Liv Rooney was not that freaking popular for y'all to relocate to her hometown. No, it's not realistic. Also, another reason why I couldn't stand Maddie in general, like, Liv. We're gonna get more into Liv's character then, but it's like everybody treated Liv like she was like the best celebrity ever. But like I said, if Liv lived in an area that a lot of like famous people live in and came from, like Atlanta, Miami, even Orlando, New York City, Chicago, the Bay Area, even San Diego and whatnot, she would not be getting all the attention she got. She just liked all the attention she got because she was the only famous person from their town. Like, if she lived in like a more popular area, nobody would care about her, okay? Like in Atlanta, everybody's a celebrity. We don't care. We don't care. The music. I don't like the music for this show. It's weird because like with Austin and Ally, the only thing about that show I really liked was the music. This show, I didn't even like that. There's so much about this show that I absolutely cannot stand whatsoever. The music is just freaking atrocious. It made me want my ears... Oh my god, my ears wanted to bleed so much. I just couldn't do it. It was just too cutesy and too poppy for me, okay? I like my music to have a little soul and a little bass to it. I don't know, I can gyrate to. I just couldn't. Like, it was just too poppy, too cutie for me. I just couldn't do it. Like, it was like, the show was like Allie Dawson songs put on 10, if that makes sense, okay? The show could not top the Shake It Up soundtrack. I'll just go ahead and say that. Shake It Up has one of the best Disney Channel soundtracks out here. Y'all can fight me on that. Next thing about the show that I really couldn't stand, the show had way too much gross out humor. I understand that Disney Channel is like a really like female oriented channel and whatnot, and they do want to be able to appeal to the male audience because, you know, money, when you can appear to both males and females, you'll get more money, okay? That's just one thing that Disney Channel has always figured out along the years. They think that adding gross out humor will get them that boy audience that they want. And I would just go ahead and tell you that a lot of dudes don't like gross out humor. A lot of them don't find it funny. I don't find it funny, and I'm a girl. But it's just really disgusting. It's not funny whatsoever. And it was just so much of it in the show. I was just like, they toned it down as the show continued to go on. But it is there a lot in season 1 and 2. And I was just like, that's one thing about kid shows in general that I don't like, is that they rely too much on gross out humor to get a cheap laugh. And I'll be the first person to tell you that it's not funny. It's not funny whatsoever. It's not. Toilet humor is not funny. It's different when it's gross out humor animation because it's animated, but when it's live action, it's just plain up disgusting. I know it's Disney Channel. This one is just like a personal belief that I have that just really kind of irritates me. And I know it's Disney Channel. You're always going to have those wacky scenarios and whatnot. But I think the roles and opportunities that Liv went after were really, really stupid. And they were really, really bad career and business decisions. Y'all know those really, really bad Nickelodeon original movies. Not all of them are bad, just most of them. That's one thing that Disney Channel has Nickelodeon beat at when it comes to original movies. Okay? Y'all can't argue me about that. Can't argue me on that. Liv and Maddie really... it's like they just kind of took what they could and tried to make it that on 10, okay? That on 10. And what made me so angry is that, like, Liv had the opportunity to take a role that actually made sense. Like, a really good human role that probably would have made her break into the industry way, way more. But she didn't want to take it because she mentioned how everybody was going for the role. Like, she didn't take it because she didn't want to be around she didn't want to leave her family and whatnot. I personally think she just didn't want to take it because she knew good and well that it was going to be a lot of competition going after that role, okay? Because that was a role that could have gave her, like, that could have been there up for her. And she probably thought she wasn't going to get it, so she just kind of quit. Her career was honestly kind of flopping. Because, like I said, Liv, it really seemed like Liv went after roles. Like I said, they relocated to Wisconsin for her. So, you know, the projects that they were doing probably weren't all that great. It's just like Liv went after roles that were just so obviously bad. So, yeah. This show had way too much hollering in it. I just couldn't stand it. That's something that a big issue that a lot of kids shows have in general, where the shows have so much screaming in them. I'm just like, I can't do this. Like, just shut up and talk. Like, literally in the pilot, the twins have a screaming match with each other. A freaking screaming match. Like, I just can't do it. And throughout the show, it's just screaming. I literally have to turn the volume down because everyone's hollering. Too much for me to deal with. Like, sing it loud, bam, what? Like, girl, shut up. Shut up. So many of the men on this show are portrayed to be really, 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 really freaking stupid. Like, it really bothered me. Like, y'all know, like, the little feminist in me. This show is kind of like a little feminist show because, you know, it's like, it has the, like, big female audience, you know, the twins and whatnot. Portraying men as dumb is not the way to go about it. I'm sorry. It's not. Like I said, bad writing. Diggy really was like the only dude on this show I could tolerate, and Holden, but like I said, Holden was really dumb. Holden was like really stupid. Not Holden wasn't really stupid. Holden was really dull. But like Diggy, I can tolerate him. Like a lot of people hate Diggy. I didn't really dislike him. He just was kind of there for me, just trying to be there for Maddie. It's just obvious that relationship wasn't working and whatnot. I hate this scene. Bothered me so much. I have to put it in here. We gotta talk about the locker room scene. There is a scene with Joey, the younger brother of Liv and Maddie. There is a scene where a dude tells him that he needs to get something out of the girls' locker room for him. And Joey's like, no, that's the girls' locker room. I'm not allowed to go in there. I would get in trouble. And that's literally why the dude wanted him to go in there and get it for him, because he knew he was going to get in trouble. So, you know, Joey goes in there and whatnot. And it turns out Maddie is in there. Luckily, it's his sister that was in there. But Maddie got scared because she thought it was some random guy coming in there, and she screamed. But then when she realized it was her brother, she calmed down. But imagine how scared that girl would have been if she didn't know him. Like, if that was really some random guy she didn't know came in there. Because there have been multiple scenes I have seen on television shows where boys have walked into girls' only spaces and the girls freak out and scream. Like, please do not do that, y'all. Because it has happened multiple times at my middle school, in my high school, even my elementary school, where boys will walk into the girls' bathroom and girls will walk into the boys' bathroom to bother them, and it would really freak them out. Like, y'all, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, I've literally had really bad, like, this scene really triggered me, y'all. I'm sorry if I seem like I'm getting really irritable right now, but this scene really did trigger me, and I had to put it in there because I had a personal experience similar to this that did not in the best way. So yeah, Disney Channel needs to be a little bit more considerate when they put scenes in here like this for laughs and not realizing how they could affect people. Okay, like I said, Disney needs to remember that not only kids watch their shows, there are adults that watch their shows and they point out the bad things. But yes, like, they tried to play that entire thing about a boy going into the girls' locker room, like, or the girls' bathroom, like it was funny, and it's really not. I'm tired of kids' shows trying to do that. It's really not. It's actually really, really disturbing. Please stop doing that. Please stop trying to use that for laughs. Now, you know, we talked about all the bad in the show. Now we're going to talk about the good. There's really only one good thing that I found out about this show. It's the mother. I love the mother in the show so much. She was an amazing mother, but you know, that's gonna lead us into our character talk. I always like to leave character talk for last when I talk about television shows and movies and whatnot. So I think this is just a good time to transition into the character talk. Character talk for this video won't be long. Like I said, y'all were getting a movie for Liv and Maddie. Character talk won't be too long because, like, almost all the stuff I named earlier can just, like, depend on how bad this show is. But I have to get into character talk because it's just that terrible. It's really that terrible. Mom, Mrs. Rooney, the only thing about this show I can tolerate. She was an amazing mother, okay? She was just, like, kind of like the only balance that they had in that family. Not the banging. The banging. She was trying to balance how all four of her kids had different careers. Her husband was pretty helpful. I don't think the dad was just a bad dad. He was just there. Like, he was just there. I did like how the dad was very protective of the girls when it came to boys and whatnot. But, like, the mother literally was the glue that held the Rooney family together. This is something else that I didn't realize was a problem what I said. The dad can come across as, like, very misogynistic, because this is the same problem that I had when I was watching One-on-One, where it felt like he was policing his daughters. Okay, so Flex has one daughter, Rihanna, and Mr. Rooney has two daughters, Liv and Maddie. I felt like both of those dads were policing their daughter's sexuality, which is very, very strange. As you see, it was more prominent in One-on-One than it was in Liv and Maddie. That's probably why I didn't notice it until, like, someone pointed it out in my comment section. But yeah, I did have a big problem with that because I did go back and rewatch some of it, and I was like, oh yeah, that actually is a problem. So thank you for whoever that was that pointed that out. But yes, like, stop policing your daughter's sexuality. Like, it's creepy. It's really, really creepy. And she was actually really, really funny. Like, every time she came on the television, I was giggling. And the stuff they had her doing and acting out was beyond childish. But she was just a funny woman. Like, the best thing about the show, hands down. Like, I really could only look and tolerate the television when she was there. Liv. The twins literally are like the worst thing about the show. The show is about them, and they're literally the worst thing. Like how Descendants is about Malbertha, and she's literally the worst thing. Coincidence? I think not. The shade I just threw. My problem with Liv is that she thought she was better than everybody because she was on TV. And that kind of was her only personality trait too, that she was famous. And she could sing. Like, those were like her only two personality traits. Nothing about Liv Rooney was really entertaining for all that matter. I don't really care too much for her because she genuinely was just not a good person. As she thought she was. Okay, I think Liv did have good intentions, but overall she was just not a good person. Voice was really, really annoying. I know this sounds kind of mean, but that's not the actor's real voice, so I can say that. And also I can say that because people say my voice is annoying, so one annoying voice to another, I think her voice is annoying. I'm sorry, but like, speaking of like voice, like Liv's dialogue is really, really annoying. Like, it really reminded me a lot of Riley Matthews' dialogue with that overly happy, smiley like thing they had going on, trying to be cutesy all the time. I really despised her dialogue. It really, really bothered me. I did not like it whatsoever. It's just kind of like that. And I'm just like, no, you know you want to frown. You know you're not happy. You know, like, come on, Liv. I can't do it. I can't do it, ma'am. Like I said, it's like Liv did not know how to separate her professional life and her career life from her personal life. It's like the two kind of match together. And then you got to remember that, like, Liv grew up in the spotlight. So it does kind of make sense why she acted that way. That she always felt the need to make people look bad to make herself look better. Like, she literally was like setting her brother up, Joey up to fail in one of the episodes just to make herself look better. And I was just like, girl, are you really that shallow? Like, she did it to Maddie all the time where she thought she was helping Maddie and trying to better Maddie. Like, she really hated the fact that Maddie was a tomboy. That was just so annoying to me. I'm like, why can't you accept your sister for who she is? Like I said, Liv really only thought about herself. She always thought she was trying to help people when she really wasn't. She just didn't know how to mind her freaking business, especially when it came to Maddie and Diggy's relationship. Like, there even was an episode where she read Maddie's diary. Like, how could you do that to your sister? Like I said, blood means nothing, especially with Liv and Maddie, okay? Blood literally means nothing. I know these two girls had to grow up hating each other, okay? It has to be canon that Liv and Maddie freaking hate each other, okay? Okay? But yeah, the fame really got to her head, and I think that's why Liv was just such a terrible person, and she just needed to be brought down to earth. Now we're getting into Maddie. I really don't want to get into Maddie. I have a lot of words to say about Maddie. Maddie is the worst. I think Maddie, like, I thought Liv was bad. Maddie's terrible, okay? Because you want to know why? Like, Maddie literally is walking, I'm not like other girls. That's part of the reason why I truly despise Maddie way more than I despise Liv. Like, I despise both of them. Both of them can catch these hands. Both of them can get this smoke. They can run me my fade. But, like, Maddie, no. She has the most nastiest attitude whatsoever. She is extremely negative about every single last thing. Like, she did not deserve Willow. She always pushed around Willow no matter what she could. Like I said, Willow was Maddie's duff, okay? Like, Maddie knew that, like, Willow... I feel like she really only hung out with Willow because she knew Willow made her look cooler. Because Maddie was a loser. Maddie Rooney was a freaking loser. Like, I understand that Maddie was supposed to be like the tough twin and the tomboy, but they really just could have made her nicer, because it was to the point where she was just mean for no reason. And I was just like, girl, shut up. Like, is it ever that serious, Maddie? It is ever that serious. Is it ever that freaking serious? Like, also, I'm just tired of Disney Channel shows thinking that it is so cute to be rude to your parents, because she is so rude to her mother. Like, her mom literally be there just trying to help her, and next thing you know, Maddie's just like, okay, mother, but I'm just like, stop doing that. Like, it's not cute to be rude to your parents, y'all. The thing about it is that, like, I understand not everybody has the best relationship with their parents and whatsoever. Like, yeah, if your parents mean to you, be mean to them back whatsoever, but like, Mrs. Rooney was so sweet. Like, she just be there trying to help Maddie, and next thing you know, Maddie would just not respect her whatsoever. Like I said, the whole thing with her, like, she's really, really selfish. She only thought of herself first. She never thought about how other people's feelings would be into consideration for her actions and whatnot, which led up to why her and Diggy's relationship did not work. And I feel like that relationship didn't work on both ends, where they just had really, really bad communication with each other and they just weren't straight up with one another. But Liv being so freaking selfish literally was like the downfall of that relationship, because every time something happened where he was gone, she like complained and cried, and I'm just like, Maddie, this is not about you. Maddie, this is not about you. Get over it. Like, that whole entire arc where like Maddie ended up hurting her knee kind of brought the worst out of her, because we got to see how basketball was her only personality trait. That's the big issue with Liv and Maddie. Liv's only personality trait was being famous. Maddie's personality trait was only being sporty. That was like the big issue. But it's like, when both of those things were taken away from the twins, we got to see how freaking terrible they actually were as people. Like I said, they were both equally terrible, but I personally dislike Maddie more. Like, there's a lot of people who like Maddie more and don't like Liv. There are people that like Liv more, and the thing is, like, we all dislike both of the twins, okay? But there's people that hate one more than another, and I just so happen to hate Maddie more than Liv. Both of them thought they were above everybody in different ways, okay? Like, both of them had different ways of showing it, where it's like you have two terrible people, but they're terrible for different reasons. But like I said, they both were very, very selfish, okay? Both were very, very selfish. Like I said, they always, like, they never put other people's feelings into consideration. They always just put themselves first. Okay, now we gotta get into Joey. A lot of people like to say that Joey is the best thing about this show, and I digress. Like I said, I think it's the mother. I am Mrs. Rooney trash. But like, a lot of people say Joey was the best thing about the show, and I just think they're saying this because he's funny. Like, Joey Bragg is a funny man, okay? That dude is hilarious. He was working with this freaking lackluster script, okay? The dude has talent, okay? I would love to see Joey Bragg in other stuff. Just not this. I'm never watching the show ever again. Like, I literally, nope. I need to, like, do what I can to make it get out of my Netflix. Like, I just need to get rid of it. I need to get rid of it. I said, like, even though Willow was terrible to him, I didn't like the way he treated her. It was just a really, really bad dynamic. He was just really, really gross. I don't like how he always tried to get attention from girls that obviously didn't want nothing to do with him. He honestly reminded me a lot of Robbie Shapiro, but I can tolerate Joey Parker, not Joey Parker, Joey Rooney way more than I can tolerate Robbie Shapiro, okay? Okay, what's labor? Ew, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. And we got Parker. Parker is just the kid character. Just the cute, funny kid character. That's it. I think he was just there to try to get boys that were, like, in his age range to watch the show. I just was not here. I wasn't here for Parker. Like, also, Joey and Parker got, like, the worst storylines. They got the dullest storylines. Every time it was a Joey and Parker subplot, I was, like, turning away from the television, okay? Like, at least, like, Liv and Maddie stuff was terrible, too. But at least it caught my attention. When Joey and Parker literally could not catch my attention with what they did, I'm so sorry. It was just not there for me. I just couldn't do Joey and Parker center stuff. It just didn't hit for me. It didn't hit like grits for me, okay? With Liv and Maddie, I can pay attention. Joey and Parker, I couldn't do it. Overall, I think this is a very, very bad show. It's literally one, like I said, I am not exaggerating when I said I think Liv and Maddie is one of the worst shows I've ever watched. Like, there are a lot more terrible shows that I have seen out here. Like, Fred was a terrible show, okay? But like, no, there's a whole bunch of content out here about Fred. I don't really see too much like, they're reviewing Fred for what it is. Like, nobody trying to kiss up to it, where a lot of the content about Liv and Maddie here is trying to kiss up to it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be that girl that tells the truth. I'm gonna be that girl that tells the freaking truth. Like I said, I think it's a really bad show. And if I think a kid's show is bad, I mean it. Now, do I think Liv and Maddie had the potential to be a better show? No, I don't think this show even had the potential to be a better show. Like, usually when I talk about bad shows and things like that, like even when I was talking about my Austin and Ally video, you guys can go and watch that. That is like literally one of my best longer videos that I think I have so far. I spoke about how I thought Austin and Ally could have been better if we just saw Austin more of like a struggling artist. Like, just little suggestions there. He got famous too quick. Just like stuff like that. I spoke about how Zoe 101 would have been better if the characters were a bit more likable and whatnot. Liv and Maddie, I don't know with this show. It was just genuinely that bad for me. And I don't really see any potential of it being better because the premise was not catching my attention. Like I said, it didn't catch my attention when I was younger, and I still was just not with the plot of the show. I just couldn't do it. Oh, I was going to say that I think changing the setting of the show would have fixed it, but then the last season takes place in another area, okay? It takes place in California, and that literally, I digress. It did not prove. It proved that the show was just genuinely bad, even if moving locations and whatnot. Because I had an idea of like, what if the family lived in a more like popular area? Like if they lived somewhere like Austin and Ally, where they lived in like Miami, or they lived in like Chicago or whatnot. They even lived in DC, just something like DC, like Philadelphia, like something that's just not nasty Wisconsin, okay? New York. Like I said, even the Bay Area, even like San Diego, I thought them living in like a more populated area would have made the show more interesting. But it just, them doing that and them moving away, it just didn't work. I just couldn't do it. It just honestly made the show worse, in my opinion, too. Them changing the setting made the show extremely worse. And it made it harder and harder and harder and harder for me to freaking watch. And like I said, I will never ever 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 touch this show again. Y'all better not ask me ever again to talk about Liv and Maddie, because I told y'all I literally wanted to freaking, I could not do it. I'm about to take myself out to get me a treat or something, because I got through the Liv and Maddie video. I got through the freaking Liv and Maddie video. This is a bad show. This is a really, really bad show. Disney Channel wasted so much of their time, money, energy, blood, sweat, and tears on Liv and Maddie. It's that terrible. Like, I've never gotten this angry about something bad that I have watched before, but I really don't see no potential in this show being any better, and that really disgusts me. Like, I don't like that. I hate that when I'm watching something and I don't really see any way that it could just be better when it's just not. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent right now, but like, it's just that bad. It's just that bad. Like I said, when I think something is genuinely terrible, I think it's terrible, okay? Because I don't see any potential in how this show could have been better. Like, I am a writer. You guys know that I love to write. Like, I love rewriting things. Like how you guys saw how I kind of rewrote Austin and Ally to where I thought it could have been a little bit better, a little bit more interesting, how it could have went, yada, 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 and whatnot. Liv and Maddie, I just couldn't. Like, I was trying so hard this entire time while I watched this show. I suffered so much because I thought I got out of doing this review too, because I saw it wasn't on Disney Plus, so I thought I got out of it. No, it was on freaking Netflix, and I was just like, I don't like how now my Netflix recommendations are messed up now because this show is in there, and they're gonna start recommending me trash like Liv and Maddie. I'm really, really freaking hurt. I'm really, really freaking hurt. I can't do it, but like, I tried so hard to rewrite how this show could have been better, and nothing was coming out. I had nothing. And this show beat me. This show got to me. This show really freaking got to me. Living Maddie got to me, y'all. Harriyanna cracked, because there was no way that I could have made it better. I had no idea how I could have fixed it. You won, Living Maddie. You won. You got to me. You got to me. See, that really just upsetted me. I don't even want to do the outro for this video. I don't. Thank you guys for watching. Like, I'm so angry now. I'm so angry. Like, this is Dan Snyder anger right here, but this is like creativity anger right here, not like why humans are in danger anger. This is just creativity anger right here. Like, it's just a trash show that got like a bunch of issues all together, and I legit don't know what they could have did to fix it. And it beat me. It beat me. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, if you guys are interested in the coldest water, I need a sip. I need a sip. It's just water in here, y'all. But like I said, I don't drink. Anybody want to pour me some wine in here? Anybody want to turn this water into wine? I'm done. I'm done. Like I said, I'm going to have my birthday giveaway information down below. If you guys are interested in that, please support my birthday giveaway. Like I said, I think that giveaway will help me get to 50K. Like I said, I have something really, really, really special for at 50K. And I really want you guys to see it. So, yeah, I want you guys to see it soon. So, yeah. I love you guys. Thank you guys so freaking much. The ride on the pirate ship today was not good. It was not a good ride. I'm so sorry that I knocked some of y'all off along the way, but harriyannahook was in a bad mood. And yes, this, like I said, I made a movie. I told y'all Living Maddie was gonna be a movie. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for everything you have done for me. And yes, have a good night. Thank you for the support. And thank you again.